Casey?
Yes.
Can I talk to you, please?
Sure. What's up, dude?
You know what?
You just had the police come around.
Yes,
Actually, I don't want to talk to you.
Please,
I don't want to talk to you. No, you lied to the police.
No, I want to show you the text messages. No, because Jasmine's over here mad at me. I'm over here thinking.
Oh, she really texted me.
Why are you here?
Wow.
Jasmine! What happened to my daughter? What the fuck happened to my daughter, you motherfucker? What did you do to my daughter, you motherfucker? What did you do to my daughter? What the fuck did you do to my daughter?
On July 22nd, 2024, Esther Reyes found a mother's worst nightmare. As Reyes went to the home of Casey Kenney, she found her daughter bruised and had suspected Casey of domestic violence. Casey Kenney was once a UFC prospect, fighting some of the top guys such as Merab Dvalishvili, Song Yadong, and one of the greatest bantamweights of all time, Dominic Cruz. The deeper I dove into this, the more I realized how crazy this story is. But let's back up a little bit. Who is Casey Kenney? Casey Kenney was born March 20th in 1991 in Portland, Oregon. At age 5, Casey Kenney started doing judo and now currently holds a 2-dan black belt in the sport. Kenney would also wrestle in Indiana University, and you can see his profile still to this day on the college website. Eventually, Kenney would full-on commit to his MMA dreams and drop out of school in sophomore year. This led to him having lots of success on the regional scene and eventually getting called for Dana White's Contender Series. Now, Dana White's Contender Series is of course a show for MMA fighters to go on to help promote themselves to give them a chance in the UFC. Despite winning his fight, he did not get a contract, then fought a month later once again on Dana White's Contender Series and lost that fight. After this, Kenney would pick himself up, winning 4 fights in a row and even becoming LFA's flyweight and bantamweight champion. And this caught the UFC's attention, so when Ray Borg needed an opponent on short notice, they knew who to call. On March 30th, 2019, Casey Kenney would get his first UFC win against Ray Borg via unanimous decision. Kenney would win once again in his next fight, but in his third UFC fight would fight none other than Merab Dvalishvili. Yes, the same Merab that is fighting for a UFC title next month. Kenney would lose this fight by unanimous decision, even getting a 30-25 scorecard. Kenney would once again bounce back with him getting 3 wins in a row, one of his wins coming from a first-round guillotine choke, as well as a victory over Nathaniel Wood, who just fought this past weekend. However, he would end 2020 expecting a big fight in 2021, and this is where we get into his first controversy. Casey Kenney was set to fight Dominic Cruz at UFC 259, with the co-main event of the pay-per-view being Amanda Nunes versus Megan Anderson. Now, Casey's teammate and UFC bantamweight champion Sean O'Malley also fought in the card and had a podcast where he had Casey Kenney on, and on the podcast, Sean's coach would ask a question to Casey Kenney that many people deemed inappropriate, but I'll let you guys judge for yourself.
Would you smash Megan Anderson or no, Casey?
Probably not, man. She's not too well.
Be honest.
I mean, if it came down to it, and it was like
You're
5
biased.
a.m. she's a 5 a.m. or 4 a.m. or just
She's
us
all-
two hanging out.
She's piggybacking you to her room.
yeah. I'd be like, fuck it, let's do it.
Yeah, but
Megan was not happy with these comments, saying that they were inappropriate, and we saw Casey apologize after the fact, but Megan was still not happy. According to Megan Anderson, she had seen Kenney later on in that fight week, and allegedly Kenney ran away from Megan Anderson.
It's like, firstly, this is disgusting. I was like, secondly, like, to think I would even fucking look at you at 2 a.m. in the morning, let alone fucking, I wouldn't even look at you at fucking 7 p.m. at night, let alone 2 a.m. in the morning. Because he fought Dominic Cruz when I fought Amanda Nunes, and like, he crossed paths with me at the UFC PI, fucking shat himself and ran the other way. I was like, the only reason why he's saying that is because I'm so much taller than him. I'm a weight class above him. Like, if you're a little dude and you're emasculated by that, just say that.
I think it's just interesting to see his history of behavior towards other women, and would maybe give us a glimpse of what is to allegedly come. Casey would go on to lose a split decision to Dominic Cruz and return later that summer to fight Song Yadong. Once again, Casey would lose to Song Yadong via split decision in a very close fight. However, after this is all we saw of Casey Kenney. His last fight was in August of 2021, and he has been gone for nearly 3 years now. Where did Casey Kenney go? I gotta be honest, guys, there is very little that we know. However, through my research, I found on July 28th, 2022, Casey Kenney revealed that the reason he had not fought at that point for a little under a year was due to the fact that he suffered a bad injury to his pinky where he needed multiple surgeries.
I actually detached my pinky tendon.
Oh, jeez.
And it required 2 surgeries. So I had 1 surgery in October, and then they finally got to attach my pinky back in January. So just kind of hitting that mark where is safe to, you know, spar, wrestle, do all that stuff.
However, of course, we know he did not return that year and has still not returned since. The only other footage I could find that was later than that was September 29, 2022, where we saw Tim Welch on his podcast once again have Casey Kenney on. However, we would find out later on, according to Esther Reyes, that apparently Casey Kenney was in fact training this year to return to the UFC. So while many people speculated that he might be retired because of his pinky, Esther Reyes actually said that apparently his issues were fixed and he was getting ready to train once again. But who is Esther Reyes, you guys might ask? Now, to explain who Esther is, I have to talk about Casey Kenney and when he met Jasmine. Now, Jasmine is allegedly Casey Kenney's girlfriend, who he has been dating for a little bit of time now. But at some point between Jasmine and Casey dating, it turns out Casey actually cheated on Jasmine. This led to Jasmine allegedly destroying some of his stuff and Casey allegedly hitting her. Now, I have to stress once again, this is all alleged. There is nothing proven as of right now. And the main person to speak out about this, the main witness, would be Esther Reyes, which was Jasmine's mother. Esther recalls an incident where Casey was mad at Jasmine and found her car in a garage where she parked from work and smashed her windows and destroyed multiple things inside the vehicle. She posted pictures of this on Instagram and is currently on her Instagram page. Esther also believed that Casey put a GPS tracking device in Jasmine's car, which would explain how he was able to find her car in the garage. Esther described Casey as very controlling and even detailing an incident where apparently Jasmine was looking towards the direction of another man and Casey said, "What, you want me to get his number for you?" Esther just describes Casey as very jealous, which would all lead to this. Esther Reyes received weird messages from Jasmine where she felt a little bit off. After this, Esther decided to call the cops and have them do a wellness check on Kenney's home. They arrived at the home, but nobody answered, so they were not allowed in and had to leave the property. This is because they don't have a warrant, right? You can't just go barging into people's houses. Esther would keep texting Jasmine, with Jasmine telling her stuff like, "Casey is making me call you." But Esther would eventually come to the home and find her daughter bruised. Esther screams and nearly passes out on the street as her and Jasmine get back into the car and call the police.
What the fuck did you do to my daughter? Oh my God! Oh, jeez. Oh. Oh my God. Mom.
The police once again come and are filing a report, and we could see Casey Kenney eerily waving at the camera, waving at Esther, and walking back in the house with his dog.
You fucking asshole. Look how he just did what he did to my daughter. Look what the fuck he just did to my daughter. You motherfucker. I want to pepper spray his...
Now, Esther has made plenty pleas to social media trying to get something done, but apparently the police can't do much because Jasmine is an adult. Of course, she has to make her own decision. If she is choosing not to file a police report, there's not much they can do. And according to a recent post on Instagram, it seems like perhaps Jasmine is now back with Casey Kenney, and it seems like that Esther is right now just releasing stuff, trying to get the police's attention and trying to get everyone's attention. Now, I usually don't cover stuff like this. However, this story I just thought was so bizarre, and I think that this story should be platformed in some sort of way. Not saying I have the biggest platform, but still, this is a big story, and this sadly isn't only Casey Kenney. Obviously, we still need the facts, but this needs to be at least investigated. This can't be swept under the rug. We can't see Casey Kenney return in a few months and act like nothing happened. But domestic abuse is nothing to joke about, and of course, we are waiting to find all the facts, and hopefully maybe he comes out with a statement, but right now his Instagram is privated. But Casey Kenney very well still could return to the UFC according to Esther, and we could potentially see him within the year. And I'm curious to see, does the UFC let him go? The UFC has traditionally kept some guys that have domestic violence issues, such as John Jones. But of course, Casey Kenney is not on the level of a John Jones, so I'm curious to see, do they release him? He hasn't fought in a few years now. He's already lost to Song Yadong and Dominic Cruz. He's 33. I don't see it being good for him. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Check out some of the other videos on the screen, guys. Thank you guys for watching. You guys are the best fan base in MMA, and I'll see you guys in the next one.